Yo, these are really cool stuff. The way you drew your bodies, I think it can be better. I don't know if you drew these bodies again or if it was something that was handed over to you. But I don't recall approving these bodies. I don't recall approving these bodies. So um I wish you drew the bodies well so that because at this point we don't want to be having to make corrections on bodies again because we're taking this thing all the way to week 8. Like we should be moving on to using these things to for like being able to color, apply colors, and render out the costumes from week 6. So this drawing should be fixed by now. I know this is not your drawing. I don't know where you got this from. I don't know who you exchanged with, but this drawing can be a lot better. So her hands are on her thighs. Another thing about this, why I also do not approve of this design is that it looks very literal. It looks very grounded. Like in terms of proportions, like it looks almost realistic. So I don't think I would have approved of this. And then again, you have to keep moving. So I'm doing these corrections. So I'm doing this draw over so that if you need to sketch this thing properly again, I know it's a lot of work to sketch to make this correction, but at least when you hand over to someone in the following week, if they need to do a draw, like to make the correction of the body before they start coloring the costume or rendering out the costumes, then and they should do that. This hand, I'm not quite sure why the hand is facing. This is a very unnatural way to. Well, it's not very unnatural, but it's it's not something you see very often. Like people standing like this. It looks a bit weird. Hi guys. So in the fall of 2025, I got to host an 8-week masterclass titled Ethnic Character Design for Animation, which had a decent number of sign-ups. I got to share a ton of rich information, secrets, industry insights that I used to craft an award-winning character like Noni Eyes of Wakanda. The sessions were archived and compiled into a digestible course. This course is now available for purchase on Gumroad. So if you are an intermediate level artist seeking to diversify your portfolio to include culturally grounded characters in animation, then this is for you. Yeah, I'd rather the hands be taking a more natural and relaxed pose. Let's make her torso shorter. All right. So yeah, that's what I feel. But the outfits itself. So I'm gonna save this file on PSD. If you need this, I can send to you. But the costume. Let's look at the costume. The costume is interesting. Like I like what you did. It's interesting. I like all these gathers pointing upwards. Like this is really cool. Because remember what we said about eye movements, we have to move the eyes to the face. So all these things pointing upwards is really nice. And then this one also is giving that feeling of pointing upwards as well. Yeah, it's good stuff. The sandals, in terms of rendering, it's gonna be better. It's gonna be better. But the overall idea, okay, I don't know what's, let me see. So this is what I was thinking. I was thinking you did, there's another line here. Like this is what I was thinking, that there's another line here, and then you drew the feet. So this is what I thought I was looking at. But then again, you know, it can still work. If you don't want that part, you can just tuck it in between our toes like you did. That works too. But just pay attention to how, you know, your drawing, like it has to feel like it's placed properly in space, like that. Then for this other one, this is a cover shoe, I guess. Egyptian shoes, I've seen Egyptian shoes that are pointy like this. Maybe if you, I don't know. Okay, let me look at a reference. So there are no shoes. Okay, there are shoes in the reference. I see a sandal here. Yeah, that is just that. So for cover shoes, I've seen cover shoes that are pointy like this. So you need to find more interesting references and probably use this idea of a pointy shoe. Or it could even be a half shoe. It doesn't have to be. It can be a half shoe. I'm not sure if women wear half shoes, but yeah. This is a cool idea. This idea of the wings of feathers. It's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah, again, these are, to me, this feels very, very like, this looks like traditional Egyptian stuff. Like it feels like it's 90% literal. It would have been nice to see, especially for the ceremonial one. It would have been nice for you to go as far as 70% literal and then 30% sunesis or like transcendent. So you push based on the shapes you're seeing, the shapes, the symbols, and all of that. Push it and interpret it in the outfits beyond this 30, like beyond this 90%, because it's too literal. It feels ceremonial, yes, but it would have been nice to see how you can push it to create something that's more imaginative that we've not seen before. This looks very, very generic. Like it feels not very generic. It's nice, but it's a bit too literal. I won't say it's generic. I'll say it's nice, but it's quite literal. This hair, like yo, this hair concept is really nice. Like I really like this one. These are really, really cool hair concepts, man. Fantastic. I like this one. I don't know if this is a, imagine if this was like a coin or like something like a coin with some interesting, like, or maybe a golden shape. I don't know, maybe you want to put like a little bit of shade inside there, and then this one too. But then they are like golden colors. So when, you know, in different, under different lighting conditions, like you have this thing like really glowing, depending on the lighting condition, like it would be really nice. And yo, this concept of putting like the inscriptions on the hair is fantastic, man. It's fantastic. I love it. These are really, really cool. I like how far you pushed the options. Like these are really cool. I like the hair. Maybe some of all these chains can have, or some of all these hair things can have like Egyptian inscriptions on them and stuff. So like that would be cool. And put like Egyptian hieroglyphics on all these things. Then the volume of the hair though can be better, in terms of interpretation. It can be better the way it's drawn. But the idea is, and the simplicity too, is really good. I like how simple and easy it is to interpret what you've done. I also see like you added a sense of depth to it. But you need to kind of try to match what's on this side to this side, like matching, especially if this is a symmetrical type of hair. I'm not a huge fan of symmetry for hair, but if this was symmetrical, maybe. Yeah, this is really cool. And then the extra touch, using these balls and the hanging rings, the hanging rings, fantastic. If you want to put inscriptions, maybe a little bit of inscriptions on these things, it'd be great. Like, but this is awesome, man. This one is not too far from option 2. And remember what I said about keeping both sides. Like, you have to draw the hair on the other side. Hi guys. So in the fall of 2025, I got to host an 8-week masterclass titled Ethnic Character Design for Animation, which had a decent number of signups. I got to share a ton of rich information, secrets, industry insights that I used to craft an award-winning character like Noni, Eyes of Wakanda. The sessions were archived and compiled into a digestible course. This course is now available for purchase on Gumroad. So if you are an intermediate level artist seeking to diversify your portfolio to include culturally grounded characters in animation, then this is for you. Yeah, this is really cool, man. Then what I was going to say about this that I noticed is that you gave you gave her a almost like a flat type of hair, which is nice. Like I like because I can feel that there's depth here from what you did with the ring, the accessory the hair accessory. I can see the depth, so that automatically gives me the impression that this hair is like flat, which is good. I love that. Yeah, fantastic. Again, like I said, maybe you'd have, because you want this thing to feel Egyptian, so maybe if you can give them like some kind of Egyptian hieroglyphics and stuff like that. I don't know Egyptian hieroglyphics. I'm just drawing like some weird characters there. Yeah, fantastic. Same thing too for this hair. But you need to pay attention to how you draw, like, because for me, I would probably change the direction a bit. You know, maybe change this direction, change it like this. But yo, this is awesome. And listen, I don't flatter people. Like, I try to be as honest with people as much. This thing I'm looking at, this hair your hair option is very unique. Like, it gives me, like, it's giving new, like it's giving like not seen before, or original. It's giving like that original feel, because you really put your mind, your heart and soul into this one. So I appreciate it. Well done. This one too is also nice. I like the touch. What I would say is, because I know where you got this idea from. I saw it in someone else's work. I think it's probably here. Okay, yeah, it's here. So this one, this hand, these things that look like hands, fantastic idea. What I would say is, I would suggest, and this is a suggestion, you don't have to take it. I'll suggest that you make these things metallic. Like, I would suggest you make these things metallic, like that. I also like that you try to draw them in different views. Like you didn't draw everything to be facing the same direction. Like this is nice. The hair is really tiny. I don't know if you want to make them slightly bigger, but and then maybe make them a little bit more, maybe give them a little bit of um meandering so that everything is not just like straight and perfect. You can play with movements, like a little bit slight movements here and there, like that. But this is fantastic. I'm I'm really I'm really encouraged to see this. So it's really good, bro. Yeah, if you need the PSD, I can share that with you. But this is awesome, man. Really good. Thanks.